We are just 55 subscribers away from our next milestone, so thank you so much to all of you who have supported the show, especially these last 2 months as we have grown like weeds in the probably worst Michigan football season I can remember. So while the team's not doing great, the show's doing good, you guys are supporting, so thank you. 55 away from 11,000, so if you subscribe today, you are now an MFer, Michigan Football Report MFR. If you watch the show, you subscribe, you're an MFer. So thanks to all you MFers out there. We got Michigan football rumors here on a Friday. Got some news on Joe Milton transfer, little Jim Harbaugh rumors, and maybe a new OC in 2021. It's the show right now. I am your host, James Yoder, and I just came to jump on set to film, and Wardrobe said, "You can't wear that sweatshirt. Nike hasn't renewed our contract." So like Jordan in the 92 Olympics covering up his Reebok logo with an American flag, I tossed on my Michigan football sports coat. I showed the logo, sports coats, to cover up this Nike logo until they continue to sponsor the show. But we have a great show for you here on Friday. No Michigan game, so we're going to talk a little bit about the future here, and that starts with Joe Milton, Michigan starting quarterback in the 2020 season. First 5 games, then he gets benched in the Rutgers game for Cade McNamara, and there are a lot of rumors going on about Joe Milton, and frankly, a lot of them are true. So want to kind of jump first into what I think about Joe Milton right now. I don't think you will ever see him play for Michigan again. I don't. I think even if he stuck around, he's not going to be the starting quarterback, right? Cade McNamara has proven he's probably a better option. J.J. McCarthy, if he does, come to Michigan's campus, December 16th, signing day, 12 days away from now, I think he'll be third if he comes back next year. No matter who the coach is for Michigan next year, they have to explore potential transfer quarterbacks because there's just not enough depth on this team. Whether Milton stays or doesn't stay, I don't think there's enough depth. Dan Villari, the freshman from Long Island, he is not a Michigan-level player. He's not a Big Ten championship-level quarterback. So I don't necessarily think that Joe Milton has a future, and I think Michigan will look for quarterbacks to come on whether he transfers or not. But before I jump into the exploring option, I want to just address a few things that are out there. Number one, Joe Milton absolutely said what everyone's been talking about. I've known this for almost 2 weeks now, but I just didn't feel it was my place to kind of talk about. Joe Milton definitely flipped the hell out after the Rutgers game when he got benched, and he thought he was getting done dirty. And you saw like Jalen Mayfield's mom say the coaches were setting him up to fail. I think that's absolutely uncool by any parent to kind of put that out on Twitter. But nevertheless, I think Joe Milton probably has some confidence issues going on. He probably has a little bit of maturity issues going on. I remember 2 years ago after he didn't get play against like the Nebraska game and Michigan beat Nebraska by like 50, I think it was. Milton didn't get in the game, only got a couple snaps. And, there was rumors that he went back home to Florida for a week over Christmas or for fall break. And so I do think there's some maturity issues. I think there's definitely a lot of confidence issues. And I think he may have said that he was going to hang 50 on people, probably to some other players that aren't happy with their roles in the team. Michigan's going to transfer, come back and hang 50 on Michigan. Whatever. We all know that's not going to be the case, right? We know a good quarterback when we see one. We know a bad quarterback when we see one. Frankly, unfortunately for Michigan, unfortunately for Jim Harbaugh's coaching career at Michigan, and unfortunately for me and you as fans of it to sit through this season, he's not a really good quarterback. So if he said it, great. It was probably just in a moment in anger. I don't think it really meant anything, but it's pretty interesting because there's a lot of buzz. And I put that on Twitter. I'll tell you what, if you follow me on Twitter at James Yoder, you get these things more in real time and have to wait till we put it on YouTube. So, yeah, feel free to toss that up there. I appreciate that. At James Yoder, let me know if you're an MFer. But it's kind of interesting because I knew this a few days back. And if Michigan had played this game against Maryland, if they play against Ohio State next week, Joe Milton is not going to be part of that game plan, all right? Cade McNamara, I told you, I think it was early in the week, that Cade McNamara is injured, right? He's not going to play the regular season. Maybe if Michigan went to a bowl game, there's a chance he could come back. He can still go to bowl games this year, even though they're 2-4. But Joe Milton, they're saying he's hurt. I don't necessarily know if I believe that, folks. I think it just could be hey, I'm not walking you back out on that field after you said stuff like this, after you've shown these immature actions, because what I was told just a few days ago, before this whole shutdown with the Maryland game happened, was Dan Villari might have got the start against Maryland, or Hassan Haskins, or Michael Barrett, the starting linebacker, the starting Viper, could have just ran the Wildcat all game. Michigan does not have a quarterback on their roster that they feel comfortable playing. I'm not saying that's why they are not playing this game. We've heard there's at least 12, maybe 15, maybe even 20 corona cases that hit the team. So I don't think the Ohio State-Michigan game is happening next week. But if it were, Joe Milton's not playing, whether it's attitude or if his injury thing, his hand injury, that I don't know if it's a real injury, is happening. Michigan wants no part of him as the quarterback right now. I don't think he's going to be with the team next year. I think he's going to transfer, and it would be amazing if Michigan had to roll out a running back or a linebacker to quarterback their team. Because if Dan Villari went in there, we're talking about Nick Sheridan in 2008 level quarterback or worse. But that's my thoughts on Milton. I want to ask you guys this question. Who's more likely to return next year? Is it Jim Harbaugh? Is it Joe Milton? I frankly think it's neither, but let's ask who's more likely. I guess I'll say Jim Harbaugh, because I think there's about a 10% chance that Joe Milton ever plays a snap again in a Michigan football uniform. I'd say it's probably about 45% chance that Jim Harbaugh returns as the head coach of these Wolverines. So JH if Jim Harbaugh return, more likely JM if Joe Milton. I'm going to pin this comment below. You might get it with a YouTube ad break there, so just scroll down, reply to my pinned comment. By the time you scroll back, the ad break will be over and you will support the show. Thanks so much for sitting through that ad break, by the way. But if you hadn't yet, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I had to be a little funny on Twitter. I get a lot of people shout-outs for being MFer, so tweet at me, you're an MFer. You can DM me too, but you don't get the attribution of a retweet and an instant follow back. So tweet at me, I'm an MFer. Follow me at James Yoder. Really appreciate all the support. And if you want the truth on Michigan football all the time, this is the place to go. Also, my Twitter account. Number 2, there's a lot of all-time lows that this Michigan football program is setting. 2-4 record, worst performance at home. But the two I want to talk about, I kind of just alluded to one right there, and I'll talk about another one. This is the first time, because there's no Maryland game, this is the first time Michigan will go winless at home in a season in the history of the program. In the history of the program. That is crazy. And I haven't looked it up, but this actually might be the time they have the fewest wins in program history too, right? When Rich Rod went 3-9, that was a nuclear winner. 3-9, what? What's going on here? So 2-4, if that's the final record. 2-5, 2-6 if they play a couple games and lose. 2 wins, that might be the worst program in history, but I haven't gone back to the 30s and 20s yet, but at least since the 60s, right? That's the worst record Michigan would have to win. Other thing, last week against Penn State, just a putrid, lifeless effort for Michigan. First time in program history, Michigan has ever lost to a 0-5 or worse team. So they're just setting all kinds of records for futility this year. Some other ones to note, the Wisconsin game, was it 3 weeks ago? Biggest halftime deficit in program history at home. Biggest home loss in program history. Now I'm talking about since Harbaugh's been the coach, or since 1997. I'm talking about in the history of the program, right? 1887 to 2020. That is unbelievable how many bad things that have happened this season, let alone coronavirus has taken over the world. Futility and terribleness is happening at the University of Michigan. But that's just some ones I want to bring to attention. And I just don't know how Michigan will be able to bring Jim Harbaugh back, or hell, give him an extension, which a lot of people are trying to speculate might go down here coming up in the near future. But I'll ask you guys this question. Will Harbaugh be Michigan's football coach in 2021? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. Say yes, say no for Jim Harbaugh, and give me a reason why you think either way. I don't think so at this point, and it's only because of, it's like if you're trying to go on a date with a girl or something like that, and she just won't call you back, or it's like, oh, I might be able to go out, but I might have to work late and all this stuff. Not being definitive, I think, is being definitive, right? If you're not definitive that it's a yes, we're going to extend Jim Harbaugh, we're going to come out and make a statement as Ward Manuel, then I think that's saying the other thing, because signing day is 12 days away. If they're going to extend him, if they're going to do something, say it right now. So that is my word on Jim Harbaugh. I want to let you guys know. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section. BetUS is our presenting sponsor today. You guys know about BetUS. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Use that promo code GoBlue. Get 125% deposit bonus. I am betting all kinds of games this weekend with no Michigan game to worry about. I'm going to put all my effort into college football and NFL. So follow me on Twitter. I'll put my bets out about 30 minutes before the games kick off Saturday and Sunday morning. Go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Blue. You got to use that URL to get the 125% deposit bonus to bet on sports with our partner, BetUS. Rumor number 3. It's not a rumor I had. I just want to speculate on it a little bit because someone sent me a screenshot from a competitor that they're speculating that Jim Harbaugh has put together a short list of potential offensive coordinators if Josh Gattis is not retained, which I don't think he will. We'll talk more about that in a video coming up tomorrow. Jedd Fisch, who I think is the best offensive assistant Jim Harbaugh's had in his 6 seasons as Michigan's coach. He was the passing game coordinator in 2015, 2016. We all remember those teams, right? 2015, he took a 5-7 Michigan team that he took over to a 10-3 season, lost by the worst punt, fumble, recovery, run back Michigan State. It was a playoff team. Weirdest play in football history, maybe, at least Michigan football history. They would have gone to the Ohio State game in the top 5 or 6 that year with 1 loss, right? They lost to Ohio State. Obviously, that was a tough game, great Ohio State team, but then went and blew out SEC East champion Florida in the bowl game. Then the next year, Michigan starts off 9-0, number 2 in the country, turns Wilton Speight from a unheralded 3-star recruit that no one ever thought would play at Michigan into a championship-level quarterback. That's Jedd Fisch. End up choosing Tim Drevno as offensive coordinator for 2017 and beyond because I guess Drevno and Fisch didn't get along that well on philosophy. Bad decision by Harbaugh. If he's brought back, which I don't think he should, Josh Gattis has been bad enough. If he brings back Jedd Fisch, that's at least a good step in the right direction that Michigan could actually turn this thing around. One note on Josh Gattis. I saw this tweet. It was an Ohio State writer put this out. I just want to make sure you guys knew about it. From 2015 to 2019, so Jim Harbaugh's first 5 seasons, Michigan had 3 games where they ran 56 or fewer offensive plays, right? If you run a lot of, fewer offensive plays, it means you're having a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of short drives. 3 games, 56 or fewer offensive plays. This season, 4 games already. 4 of the 6, they had fewer than 56 plays. That's what the Speed and Space is doing in year 2 with Michigan. I told you guys to appreciate Shea Patterson last year. Nobody listened to me, and here is what we get. But that's the show for today. We'll be back tomorrow. I've got 4 big-time predictions on the Michigan football offseason, so make sure to continue to stick with the Michigan Football Report. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hit this button right here, subscribe. And if you missed any of our content from earlier in the week, I've got Michigan football video for you right here and right here. Go Blue.